So it is currently HallowLAN 2024. The main game that I wanted to play at this event was Metroid Prime 3, and I just got through that a little bit ago here. Why did the AI tracking my camera? Oh, it's probably when my cousin got up and moved, and I'm using display capture, and it followed him. Is probably what happened. I need to tell it to reset here over to me. Hi, and then tell it to do that. And then I'm probably going to use this layout instead. And I'm going to have to set the game capture to something that isn't Persona 3 Reload, and instead is going to be the video game that I'm actually playing. Okay, don't follow him this time. Okay, the camera stayed still this time. Cool. So, this is going to be the final stream of this game, is the plan. I wanted to do it at the LAN event of HallowLAN here, just because I've already done this at, like, every LAN party I've gone to this year, except for Extra Life, just because the Extra Life event was one that I was just doing, like, the pinball games and stuff, but every other LAN event I've gone to this year, so Fragapalooza, and the 3 of Mega FPS events that go on every year, this being the third and final one, I've done a little bit of this game at, so I figured, hey, it might be fun to kind of finish this off at another LAN event and just have this insanely long playthrough go on across so much different stuff, so many different parts of my life, considering I started my, it was before I started my final semester of university that this playthrough started, and now it's like almost a full year later, and here I am at a LAN event finishing it off for a final DLC. So this event started at 5 p.m. yesterday. It is almost 5 p.m. today. I can turn on my display capture here. Let's have a look-see if I have a look over at announcements. So this is a 3-day LAN event of November 22nd to 24th. It started yesterday, the 22nd at 5 p.m., and it goes until the 24th at 1 p.m. So, you know, a smidge of time in the evening for November 22nd, and basically, like, through the night on this Saturday into, like, the morning here and for a little bit, but then still enough time to, like, everyone gets to pack up and go home and, like, dismantle the venue and stuff like that here. Today's Saturday is, like, the big day, essentially, that stuff is going on, is what's happening here. So I want to get through a whole bunch of stuff. I always have, like, a main playthrough that I do at events like this, so I figured this time it would be Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. I'm going to start adding check marks to things that are done. And I started streaming, yesterday at about exactly 5 p.m. with Metroid Prime 3. I got that going, started a new playthrough, and I was playing it until about 3 a.m.-ish? Something like that? Or maybe it was closer to about 2:30. And then after I went and started my car to make sure that it would be able to take me home again in the morning, it was about like 3 when I decided to try and get a little bit of rest, is what I think it was. So I went to sleep at about 3 in the morning, and I just laid my chair back like this, flat. I can't exactly be sleeping in my car at this event like I typically like to do at events like Megaland or Fragapalooza, because it's winter outside. I've been sending pictures in the photos channel here. The way that, oh, that was up a while ago, the stuff here. Don't know why it shot me up there. But this is what it looks like outside, and it's just been, like, non-stop here. So, yeah, my car, if it's left out there without running for a decent while, it would not be able to start and take me home on Sunday. So from time to time, I've been going out there and just letting it run for, like, 10 minutes. So I did that once at, like, 11 p.m. yesterday, and then another time at, like, 2:30 in the morning before I went to sleep. And then again, when I woke up again at 9 a.m. just before continuing, I continued Metroid Prime 3 at 9 a.m. I woke up at about 8:30 and got out there and started my car again. And then just a second ago, I did it again now that Metroid Prime 3 is done. And I'm sure that by continuing to do this, it will be able to take me home. Like, that first starting at 11 p.m. after getting here on Friday yesterday was really difficult. Like, I really struggled. It was like, vroom, boom, 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 and then it started, vroom. So it took a little bit of a hot second, but the startings since then have been a whole lot better, has definitely been the case. So I can't sleep in my car because it's way too cold. So sleep in my chair here. That's what I did during JanLAN, the event where that Assassin's Creed Odyssey part got cut off because the shit was pulled right when I was finally doing Odyssey stuff. And at JanLAN, when I slept in my chair, it was really, really hard on me because my knees were bent 90 degrees. It was still like a chair. I didn't have something that I was putting my legs up on. So I brought along my stool that came with my electric keyboard this time to put my legs up on, and it was great. Like, it's not as good of sleeping conditions as in the back of my car, but it was a lot better. I quite enjoyed it for most of the night until just staying still in this one position basically kind of really started to flare up pain in my right hip where I've historically had a lot of pain before. So that was a little bit of a problem there, and right before getting up I had to spend a little while on my side, barely here in my chair, and yeah, then I got up, got enough rest, should be able to go hard tonight. These are the things I want to do at this event. So main playthrough, that, done. It took me almost a full day plus sleep, you could argue, considering I started at about 5 p.m. and now it's about 5 p.m. the following day, and I wrapped it up a little bit ago, and I'm only just now starting the next thing. So I'm not exactly making good time. I was hoping that would take me less than a full day, but that was like the big thing. There's the final DLC of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which, according to how long to beat, only takes about like 2 hours to beat, so it shouldn't be super long. Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, I did like the entire main game playthrough at HallowLAN, so the same venue in May. And then I did like the first couple, well, one super boss and one secret boss during Fragapalooza. And then I was like, oh, it's gonna take me a little while before I unlock the super bosses, the new ones of the Switch version. But I'll do that at a future LAN event, just because I've been doing it all at LAN events. So let's have this playthrough continue to be only at LAN events, and I decide I would finish that off here, do the last couple super bosses. And my initial plan was to do, like, after doing this, I was going to switch to this. I was specifically saying, like, oh, I plan on going to that, and then I can do, like, this immediately after. But my Switch is dead. I knew when I got here that it was dead, so I plugged it into my dock. And I'm only now realizing after I got back in that my dock wasn't properly getting power. I don't know if that one socket on my power bar is just dead. I plugged into another power bar, and I unplugged and plugged back in the USB-C cable from the dock itself. It didn't seem loose, but it seemed to have done the trick, and it's got power now. So it's charging up, but I can't use my Switch right now. So I guess I'm doing Assassin's Creed Odyssey first, and then I'll do this sometime after. Because, yeah, until my Switch has enough juice that it can actually run, I can't use it right now anyway. So that kind of changed my plans a little bit, and I guess I'm doing Assassin's Creed Odyssey right now. I'll do the final Tartarus run that I want to do in Persona 3 Reload, and that'll probably take, like, maybe a couple hours, and this should take less than 2 hours here as well. This will probably be anywhere from, like, 2 to 3 hours, especially if I do, like, other side quests along the way. If I'm doing just this, it'll probably only be, like, a couple hours. I put this on planning, like, I'd probably do it. There haven't been as many frag people here as I'm used to that I could ask about that, and maybe if the Cousin's Kiddos later want to hop into it, then maybe, but we'll see here, so that's a maybe for happening. Planet Coaster 2 is a recent new release, so I figured I'd just do one more scenario of that, even though I haven't touched the game since it first came out, because it came out in a buggy, unfinished state. And then I don't really have a definitive amount that I want to do in Brothership, just do some of it, because it's my current, like, it's a current ongoing playthrough. So that's my list of stuff to get through. So I'm doing this now. The potluck is supposed to be at 6, is the plan. Ish, depending on when things are done. And for contributions to the potluck, I worked with my cousin's younger kiddo to make some lemony cupcakes that should hopefully be pretty good here. And my mom is doing a really nice thing where she wanted to make some mac and cheese and bring it here for people at the venue to partake in, and she makes some really good mac and cheese. So her plan is to head out here in a little bit and maybe partake in the potluck, since she's contributing some of the food anyway. So who knows, maybe my mom will be here on stream for a little bit for the first time. Might be kind of fun, and we might just munch. I also figured that one of these games will be pretty good to be playing while munching at the potluck anyway. I figured this might not take me super long, so if I did this first, then it would be like right around potluck time when I start this. But never mind, because my Switch died. So that's a status update. That's what brought us here. This final DLC apparently came out like several years after the game. What was the DLC release dates? Hold on, let me look up here. It's called Those Who Are Treasured. So Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Those Who Are Treasured DLC. So when did this release? But it was like way after the, is there a wiki thingamabob? Crossover stories available now, Assassin's Creed crossover stories. There's a wiki thingamabob here. Is a crossover between Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So Assassin's Creed Valhalla already came out by the time this DLC released. I'm playing a DLC that released after the next game I'm playing. So if I wanted to actually play things in chronological order, I would start playing the next game, and then I would come back to this game and play this. But I just want to get this game all done in one fell swoop and then focus solely on Valhalla next year. So let's see here. So it was released on December 14th, 2021, apparently. And the release date of the other DLCs, I can find it if I look in the descriptions of my previous videos here, because I always include, like, release dates for things. Let's see here. The other DLCs were so the game itself released October 5th, 2018. Then Legacy of the First Blade released December 4th, 2018, so a few months later. Then The Fate of Atlantis released April 23rd, 2019, so a little bit over 4 months later. And then over 2 years later, December 14th, 2021, when the previous DLC, The Fate of Atlantis, that I just cleared, was April 23rd, 2019. So 2.5 years later from the last DLC is when this DLC was released, because Valhalla had already been out for a little while, and they released some sort of crossover thing that I guess has to do with like Cassandra having the staff and being immortal, and so we're going to like briefly meet our heroes from the next game and get a little bit of a sneak preview here, and that's going to be the final DLC here. So yeah, we'll see if it really takes a couple hours. If in an hour-ish there ends up being a potluck here, then I will just like be munching while it's going on, because I've played so much Assassin's Creed Odyssey. This doesn't really need my 100% focus at this point, so I just figured take it easy at this event here for like the final little stretch. So apparently it's called Crossover Stories because it's a crossover between this game and the next game, and the specific name of the DLC is Those Who Are Treasured. And apparently it's a free DLC. It wasn't part of the season pass, it's just something that was included. Oh yeah, I forgot, I came and checked this out very briefly once before to see what it was, and then decided I would do it sometime later. OBS is also being weirdly laggy. Okay, yeah, that's the part on OBS I want to be. I guess I'll take the vacation.
Vacation.
So this is the final thing to do. Go on a vacation, and then my journey is done. Also, I had my winter jacket on because I was going out and starting my car and stuff, but now I'm starting to get like pretty warm, so I gotta take it off and switch to my hoodie. Whoa, and not drop my controller off the table, preferably. Would be nice. I'm gonna have to like reach around grab my hoodie. Yeah, I want to switch to something significantly lighter now. Is what I would like. Corfu 6 months later. But yeah, crazy to think that over 2.5 years after the previous DLC, they added another DLC to the game. So I was mentioning before with my review at the end of The Fate of Atlantis, so there's a lot of content in this game, and a lot of free DLC content as well. And here's even more. Years later. Amazing voice acting. The da! I really quite like the authenticity.
What does it look like? I'm on vacation.
Yeah, I'm at a gaming event.
In the sun too long. You're more bronze than an urn. Come down here.
Ah, nonsense. I'm taking in the air. Much needed rest. Okay, bye.
What if I told you a mythical treasure awaits, huh? What say you then?
Nothing.
From time to time, my mic will be picking up like different venue sounds. People around here.
Will find it in no time. The Adrestia needs a tune-up, and I could use the drachmi. Help an old friend.
Right. For all time's sake.
All right. Just keep your heat-ons on.
Just jump off the roof. Well, not roof, but balcony.
Hey!
What's all this about treasure?
Something super amazing.
Only the most
I hope.
exciting thing to happen to you
I mean, we'll see if this DLC actually adds any significant content, or if it's just like fan service of
This
crossover
was
of two
the place
games.
We thought to look for you on Corfu. What have you been doing all on your own?
Nothing, dear Herodotus. And I've had the time of my life. Napping in the day, stargazing at night, and as much wine as I can swallow.
That's quite unlike you.
The old Cassandra, maybe. But the new Cassandra has never felt better.
Not retiring, are you?
Pretty soon here, this game is almost done. Too much left to be done.
As long as there's trouble in this world, I don't see that happening.
I've never seen you with a face so sour. Come on now. Everybody loves treasure.
I'm not really in the mood. I'm a little preoccupied.
Not in the mood. Now you're definitely not acting like yourself.
And what's so bad about that? I'm fine, really. I just needed to be alone for a while. To think about what's become of my life and to get away from everyone. No offense.
None taken.
It's true. The burdens you've carried have been heavy.
If anyone can shoulder them, it's Cassandra. You just need a little distraction from the weight. Say you'll do it. Come on the hunt. For the Adrestia. For me.
All right. We'll hunt for treasure. To put some drachmi in your pocket.
That's our Mystios. Oh, the loot will be enough for a whole new ship. Legends say.
And I assume there will be a whole new ship that I get in the next game. We're gonna keep up that gameplay mechanic.
One of a kind wares from
Guess I'll find out when I play the next game.
Let's not get too carried away, Barnabas.
Oh, right. I won't spoil any surprises. You'll find clues around the island that will lead to treasures beyond imagination.
If it's so legendary, I'm surprised no one's found it yet.
They've tried for hundreds of years. Well, less than that, but no one has discovered it. Not until we do today.
We'll see. The only thing this island has a lot of is sand and pirates. I'll go get my gear.
Where did I get a straw hat from? I was not wearing that a second ago. Huh? Is this just another Ubisoft game moment? Where stuff just happens randomly sometimes? Like, what? Like, I fully expect with Ubisoft games at this point to just have, like, completely random stuff happen all the time, but, man. Also, my current stream time, I didn't end my stream when I went to sleep last night. I just left it going to have, like, one continuous full VOD of, like, entire HallowLAN just for fun. It looks like 9 minutes ago I actually passed the 24-hour mark, interestingly enough. But not exactly one of my 24-hour streams in the typical kind of sense, you could say. But yeah, these kinds of events I have always ended stream and then started again. Has been the case. I have no idea where the heck this straw hat came from, but I guess I have it now. It's the case someone's screaming over there, it sounds like. Down this way? Your gear from the hideout. The camera that's facing the venue blocks things a little bit. I just see ST for the Mystios. Eve, your gear from the hideout. Oh, I can look at the thing here, OBS, and see no rest for the Mystios. Retrieve your gear from the hideout. Okay. There's an owl.
With all
And,
my old things here, I was starting to forget about them.
Oh, I can't burn them.
All the people I've met, it's like they follow me around. Physically and in my head.
My gear's somewhere around here. I'm holding the wrong button. Well, this is just like more
I can't
coins.
spear without thinking of Brasidas.
So there's gonna be a whole bunch of like throwback stuff around here then. The whole adventure. Since it's a crossover thing all these years later. So apparently there was a DLC added to Valhalla as well. That I guess is like the Valhalla heroes protagonist sides.
Months ago.
The Valhalla heroes side of things in this DLC story, I guess. So you play Odyssey for like this, like, oh, what was the name of the male character in this game? Alexios / Cassandra's side. And then I think Ivor is the name. I don't know if that changes depending on if you play the male or female character in Valhalla, but Ivor's a perspective in the equivalent Valhalla DLC that I'll play who knows how many zillion months later from now. Letter from Alcibiades. Dear sweet Mystios, where have you gone? It's not the same without you here. Hope you haven't gone forever. I want you to come back and come often. Surely you understand me. You've always had a way with me, you know. Yours, Alcibiades. So yeah, there's just gonna be a whole bunch of stuff that's like reference to stuff that happened throughout the game. So that people playing this years later are like, oh yeah, I remember that. That's cool. It's the hero from this adventure crossing over with the other thing that I played recently or something. I don't know. I assume that's what their goal is here. Oh, I'll just pick up this ore, shove it in my pocket. So it's somewhere here, it looks like. Oh, that's a torch. And now I'm on fire. Took me a little while to hop into that water. It certainly seems like. So, where are we on the map right now? Hi, on fire. Hello, Azzy. I am Azzy. Oh. Is this a map specifically for the DLC area? So it has like its own whole little map here. Shores of Drepani. Okay, Corfu Island. So this is where I went and took a vacation to. So, wait. And how is this gonna connect to the Valhalla thing? Is there gonna be like some sort of weird time travel shenanigans? Or something like that? I just figured like Cassandra's gonna live for so long with that staff that maybe she gets bored and wants to go on adventures sometimes, and one of those adventures brought her to go see the Valhalla protagonist. Is how I assumed this would work. But if I'm already on like the DLC map, and these, I'm pretty sure these are not during the same time period, this game and Valhalla. I'm pretty sure they would take place pretty far apart.
The sun has set.
But did I just go through a random cave for no reason? That have nothing to do with my gear? Am I losing my mind? Is this just like my Metroid Prime 3 playthrough that I just did a second ago, where I'm just getting so completely lost all the time? Is that what's happening here? Is that marking the cave entrance still? I'm blind. I just missed it. I just missed it. It's just telling me to go back in. Okay, well, I'm going in again. Yeah, this is just like how Metroid Prime 3 was for me. And the other Prime games at points, but like Prime 3 is the thing that just happened, so that's what's in my head. Alright, well, I have to not be blind, preferably. Give me this rock that I'm never gonna use, considering this is planned to be the last stream of this game.
I was hoping to not need these for a while.
Oh.
If you
Here's
want
my stuff.
the opposite of a vacation,
Oh, that's not my stuff.
try Sparta.
No. Oh, my gear's over here. Also, this is stream 32, by the way. This is the 32nd time that I've streamed this game. So I could have streamed this game every single day for a little bit, 99% sunburn resistance. I got the overprotective hat. You'd think it would have been on my head in the last cutscene if it was going to immediately be on my head there. Oh, and there's a thing here. Anyway, for over a full month, just a little bit over a full month, I could have streamed this game every single day. And for, I don't know what the average hours, like, per stream of this game would be, but, like, no short amount. Like, usually at least several hours on average. If not more, if I had to guess. Training completion, yeah. It's a really, really long-ass game. Oh, that's okay. And then, why is there the training here? Is it because they figured that people wouldn't have played this game for 2.5 years by the time that they played this DLC? So, like, maybe the combat works differently in Valhalla, so they were like, oh, well, or maybe there's people playing this game that are playing it 2.5 years later for this DLC that they added that never even touched Valhalla. So it's like, hey, here's a DLC 2.5 years later, so here's a brief little training thing so you remember what your buttons to play the video game are, I guess. But yeah, how's my game queue? Like, I know you have a queue of games to play. Yeah, the game queue is more of, whoa, that was like a Revelations kind of thing there, is what that was. Didn't realize that was an option. I have a lot of things in mind that I would like to play. I don't have, like, an exact list of, like, these are the ones I'm for sure going to be taking, like, in order. It's more of just, like, these are things I'd like to get to eventually. But in terms of, here, I'll ramble about this before I go out there and trigger another cutscene. Like, Assassin's Creed, for example, I'm going through them in order. So, I always start the next Assassin's Creed playthrough on January 1st of the new year. So the one after this is Valhalla, so I'll start Assassin's Creed Valhalla on January 1st, assuming I'm not busy on January 1st. So that's coming up here. When the day comes that I continue with Fire Emblem, I'd like to play Fire Emblem 6, because the last Fire Emblem game I played on the channel was Fire Emblem 7, which is the prequel to 6, so I continue the story by playing 6, so I'd like to do that at some point. I've started playing Final Fantasy on the channel recently with Final Fantasy 16, and the game that I'd really like to play in that series is Final Fantasy 7, because that's, like, the video game that everyone knows, and is, like, one of those games where it's like, okay, if you're, like, a true gamer, you have to go play that at some point. So, sometime next year, I wouldn't mind playing Final Fantasy 7, and then I'll play the remake games 1 and 2 whenever the third game gets announced, and then I can play 1 and 2, and then I'm, like, at the ready for the third game. I would like to do Last of Us Part 2, because I already did Part 1 on the channel, and now I own Part 2 on, like, PS5, so I'll do that at some point. And Bloodborne. Bloodborne is on my list now, since that's apparently like one of the best Soulsborne games, and now I own that and have a console to play it on. And I'm thinking maybe I'll do that at HallowLAN next year, most likely. We'll see. We'll see what ends up happening here. How much would it take to convince you to play Valkyria Chronicles 1? I don't exactly have much wiggle room in terms of, like, I would have to look at a game and be like, wow, that looks like the best thing since sliced bread, to add anything new when I have, like, such a list in my head. Like, that's just the immediate stuff that I want to get to sooner rather than later. There's a lot of things that I want to get through. I want to play through the entire Metal Gear series. I want to play through the entire Mario RPG series. I would love to do the Mass Effect series and play some locally developed things. Maybe one day I'll play some more of the Tales of series. I would love to cover the Fallout series, especially with Fallout New Vegas. That's something that I would very much like to get to. Maybe one day I'll finally play the Witcher games. Like, there's quite a lot of games that I would very much like to play here on my kind of priority queue. Hello, Guzma. I saw that you posted a whole bunch of stuff, but I was, like, out running my car. was the case when I think those were posted. And I got back and got right to streaming. Is the case here, because I'm trying to get through as much as I can during this event. But yeah, so there's a lot of things I would like to get through and get under my gaming belt here. So there's a lot of stuff. I'm sorry, I did not. I just saw that there was a lot of stuff. I assumed that you were talking to, like, I assumed there was some sort of conversation going on in chat while I was gone, and I assumed that it wasn't important. I assumed that it wasn't directed at me because I thought there was just conversation while I was gone. Treasure hunt hint. Not sure where to go. I'll help. For your sake. To find the tablet, go look near the lake. Okay, so I have to, I shall cope until then. Treasure hunt hint. Okay, so, was with you? Oh, sorry about that then. Hold on. No rest for the Mystios. Find and read the first treasure hunt clue. Tablet can be found at Lake Katarakton. It can be found north of the southern watchtower. I may as well synchronize here. I don't see a lake. Is this a lake? Or is that like some weird hill? North of the southern watchtower. Am I gonna have to explore around a decent bit to find it? I may as well get this viewpoint and then maybe I'll see what the heck is going on around here. I thought there would be an immediate cutscene on exiting there, but I was wrong there. But yeah, okie doke there. This away I go. Yoink. Because, yeah, I just saw that there was, like, a decent bit of stuff, and I assumed there was some sort of conversation going on. Is what I figured was a reasonable assumption. Because, yeah, at the event here, I'm just kind of bum rushing through a bazillion games. Found out the weird AI Yankovic is making a... I've never heard of that in my life. Making a tour to New Orleans next year and might buy tickets. I'm sorry, but, yeah, I've never heard of that before. Cruz is my attempts to convincing Harmonia to play Valkyria Chronicles 1 and fail. I shall target you now. But yeah. What? What's this about false souls? Okay. Here, let's go ahead and synchronize. First synchronization point of the final DLC here. I assume there's probably not going to be a whole lot of synchronization points around here. Yeah. It's like pretty small area by comparison of most of the stuff I'm used to traversing. A pretty big area to traverse for a free DLC that was added 2.5 years later. What's this? Yoink, it's my stuff now. Oh, it's weird. Al Yakovic? Okay, I still don't know who that is. Letter? Wait, what? What's the letter I just picked up? It went away before I could read it. Famously funny comedian guy. Oh, well, I don't know him. I'm sorry. Do I have a thing on the map now? There's a lot of screaming going on over there of something.